So let's get going, guys. We are going to lay all the way down on the mat. You want to have your red band just beyond your head. So you want to scooch down enough so that you can get the red band beyond your head. So I'm going to scooch down a little bit more. And from here, we're going to take that red band into our hands. Take that red band into your hands. And you're going to have your elbows bent wide enough so that you can see them out of the corners of your eyes. What we're going to do then is inhale as we activate through the middle back to float the head, neck, and shoulders up off of the mat. So it should feel like a deep ab activation straight away. The band or the scarf are just to kind of help support our head while we do that shallow curl. Go ahead and exhale as we set it down. If you don't have a band, you can do this with your hands interlaced behind the base of the skull, or if you have a sensitive neck, that's always a good choice for this lift. I liked the band because it just provides for a lot more length in the body without adding any wrinkles to the front side of your t-shirt or to your body. So we're gonna inhale to lengthen, exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we lengthen and reach, exhale as we lower down. So rather than thinking about coming high, think about reaching long as if your body was a hammock. So we're reaching through the wall behind you rather than through the ceiling above you. So find that length as you do that shallow curl. Inhale as we lengthen, peeling off the shoulder blades. Exhale as you lower down. Notice that the low back isn't changing. Keep working, but notice that the low back has space underneath it. The hip bones are shining straight up to the sky the whole time. Let's add on a little rotation. So as we pick it up this time, the right shoulder blade peels up and off the floor, the left is still down. Back through center. Now the left shoulder blade peels up in that shallow curl and back through center. Again, the right, lengthening, keeping the pelvis quiet as we peel the shoulder blade off and back down. Inhale as we rise and rotate. Exhale, back down. Again to the right, we're gonna hold this one up, hold and breathe, and we're simply gonna deepen the curl and back, keeping the shoulder blade up the whole time, deepen the rotation and back. So I'm deepening the curl a little bit and deepening the rotation. If you have a sensitive low back, you can keep working and just soften the knees a little bit like so, and that'll take some pressure off the low back. Last two. Last one to the right, bring it back down through center, peel the left shoulder blade up, hold, and we're gonna do a little shallow curl here. Rotate and curl. Rotate and curl. So again, that pashmina or your scarf or your red band or your hands are there to support your neck and help you find that length. We're not going for height, we're going for length and reach for 3. This is 2. And this is our last 1. Go ahead and come up onto your seat. We're gonna slide the band out from under us. Having a little technical difficulty here. Let me get my mic pack back on. Hang on one second. We are going to slide that red band underneath your right foot only. So it's gonna go under the arch of the right foot. I'm gonna hold on to the edges of that band and bring the elbows onto the floor. So now I'm in a diagonal line. I don't wanna slouch into a curl and hang in the shoulders. I'm in a diagonal line here. The band is around the arch of the right foot. Both legs are gonna come into a tabletop. Hold here, lift off of the elbows, broaden the collarbones, left leg reaches long. So we're gonna do a single leg reach with resistance today. My leg is not on the floor, it's up off the floor. Here we go. We're gonna inhale, left leg bends, right leg reaches long. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale as we lengthen out. Exhale, bring it in. So my left thigh is touching that red band as I bring it in. That's okay, don't worry about that. We just wanna keep the knees aligned with the center of the hips. We're inhaling as the right leg, the one with the band, goes long. Exhaling as we bring it in. I'm in parallel with the legs, lifting off of the elbows. Inhale, right leg goes long. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, right leg goes long. Hold and breathe, lifting off of the elbows for 5. Holding and breathing for 4. Soften that right knee a tiny bit to find the ab connection in the back side of the leg for 2. And go ahead and bring the legs down and come all the way up. All right, guys, we're gonna keep that red band and we're gonna come onto our knees. We're gonna go into a little chest expansion with a carousel horse. So you can do this again with empty hands, with a scarf, or even if you have soup cans, something like a dumbbell, you can use those in your hands instead of this red band. So what we're gonna do is get our right foot flat, left shin is down. I'm gonna choke up on the band. Arms go long and reach behind you. So we're gonna lengthen back and bring it back to start. It's a small range of movement. It's about improving our posture, and it's about connecting to the back line of the body. So as we are forward over computers and smartphones and just kind of hanging out, relaxing on the couch, that is asking our body to go forward all the time. And so we wanna find that connection to the back line of the body. So you could have soup cans or dumbbells in your hands instead of this red band. You can have empty hands, you could have a scarf kind of helping to give you resistance, whatever works for you and whatever you have handy at home. Let's hold the next one with our hands in line with our hips. This is an added challenge, not required. The right foot is gonna stay flat, the left toes flip under, and then we hover off the floor just an inch or two, continue, same range of movement, only 4 of these. This is 3, these are so awful for me too. This is 2, this is 1, hold with control, step all the way up. Keep the band under your foot. We're gonna mimic what we call a front step press on our machine, on the Wunda chair. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is bring your feet 4 inches apart parallel. The band is still under the arch of my right foot. We are going to use the biceps and the band to give us resistance like we would get a spring resistance on the machine. And we're gonna bend the right knee like so. So this could also be done with a scarf or with nothing, okay? We wanna have just a baby bend in the left knee so that we find that ab connection. We don't wanna lock into that joint. And then on the inhale, we're extending the right leg down. We don't need to touch the floor. We just wanna get a nice extension there. Exhale as we absorb it back up. It's gonna help you with your balance to glue your eyes to something in front of you as we work. So we're gonna inhale as the pedal goes down, the crown of the head reaches up as the leg extends long. Exhale, bring it up. 2 more like this, guys. Inhale. You can find the middle back, shoulders, and bicep activation by resisting against the band or the scarf. Inhale to extend, exhale to bend, hold. We're gonna bend the standing leg a lot, but we didn't bow forward. So now we're in a deep plie on that standing leg, and now we're gonna send the pedal down just a bit and bring it back up. So when I say pedal, I'm visualizing it in my mind's eye, that resistance under my foot, like if we were on a WundaFormer, sending it back and up. So we're really translating that experience we have in the studio as best we can when we're working at home. So I'm feeling really sincere activation through the glam line, and that's where we're sending the leg long. So it's right under your seat, and you'll find that the left waistline is working like crazy as the right leg moves. Hold. Last challenge here, not required. We're gonna peel that left heel up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. All right, guys, let's go ahead and set that red band down for a moment. We're gonna go into a Wunda twist. We're gonna do this in flat back today. So come onto your knees on your mat. We're gonna take our hands wide at the top of the mat, and we're gonna send our feet 4 inches apart parallel. Left foot comes in front of the right, and now we're in a twisted plank position, okay? This is our start and stop. We're gonna exhale to prepare, draw the ribs close to the spine. Inhale as we lengthen up and back, swiveling the pelvis towards the mat. Unwind, 4 times like that. Inhale, really try not to ride through the shoulder joints. So we're not just kind of getting a free ride by swinging our body weight around. I want you to think about a seat belt under your pelvis, lifting you up and back. Get really deep ab activation every time. And bring it forward. Last time in the full range of movement. Lengthening and reaching up and back. Unwind, hold your twisted plank. Hold, we're gonna go into knee bends. So again, we're not invited to ride the shoulder joint. We're gonna exhale, sitting bones broaden, outer thighs magnetize as we shift our weight back. Knees bend a lot. Inhale to extend. Exhale as we bring it in. Inhale as we extend. Exhale, really magnetize those outer thighs. Try not to let the knees pop open. Inhale as we extend. Exhale as we soften. Inhale, extend. Last little variation here. We're gonna hold and we're gonna do a little mini up and back. I like to think about a hook on my left hip, drawing up and back. Give me breath in the elbows, breath between the shoulder blades. Try not to collapse. Into the middle back. Last 3. This is 2. Last 1. And bring both knees down. All right. Let's go ahead and go into a roll down with our band. So we can do a couple things here with that band for support. You can either put it under your feet and it's gonna make the movement a little bit less aggressive, or you can bring it across your hands like this and it's going to create a sincere abdominal challenge while activating the middle back, okay? So you can do that, or you can do this, and that's gonna give you support. Heels touching, toes turned out, either way, and we're gonna lean with a flat back, roll the tailbone under us, roll the low back, roll the middle back, roll the upper back, all the way down. Think about how we started our workout this morning with length as we lift, coming all the way up, rising all the way up into our seated position. Keep working. I'm gonna show what it looks like if you have that band across. We're doing the same lengthen, we're doing the same roll, we're articulating through the spine, heels touching, toes turned out, hands can come up and overhead. Lengthen as we rise. Really think about reach and lift rather than about curling all at once. So we want to really articulate through the spine, lengthen and lift as we're working, melt the tailbone, melt the low back, melt the middle back, upper back, back of the head. Arms can come overhead if that feels good for your body, not required. All the way up as we lengthen and reach. Lots of length as we work, guys. Sitting tall at the top, think about stretching that band open if it is in your hands. We're gonna hold about halfway down, hold and breathe. We're gonna float, so the legs are still in turnout position. Float the right leg up a few inches and down. Left leg up a few inches and down. Right leg up a few inches. If you had that band around your feet, you can do a smaller range of movement, or you can do both legs at a time. Let's do one more on the right. One more on the left with control. Inhale, rise all the way up. Okay, we're gonna keep that band in your hands or the scarf if you have one. We're gonna go into a bridge with a shoulder mobilization. So let's come with our feet 4 inches apart parallel. We're laying all the way down on our back. We're gonna float the band up and overhead again. This time thinking about the glutes, sending the pelvis all the way up to your best bridge position. Now that's gonna be our hold today, and then we're gonna take the right arm. It should feel a pretty good amount of resistance as it comes alongside the ear, imprinting onto the floor, pelvis didn't move, and bring it back to start. Now we're sending the left arm long and bring it back to start. The glutes are really active, working with the hamstrings to hold the bridge. So if you're feeling cramping in the hamstrings, think about your glutes holding you up more. You should feel lots of resistance through the shoulders, arms, and middle back. As we sweep one arm to the floor, it's helping to mobilize those shoulders, thinking about the shoulder blade melting down to send the arm long. Think about the knees reaching long from the pelvis as we work, and all 4 corners of the feet melting equally into the mat or the floor below you. Let's go for 2 more on each side. So think about the inner thigh spiraling to the wall behind you. Think about length on the front side of the spine. This is the last time with the right arm reaching long. This is the last time with the left arm reaching long. Hold both arms up, extend wide on the band, activating the middle back. We are going to now peel both heels up off the floor and imprint them back down. Peel both heels up off the floor and imprint them back down. If that's not for you today, keep both heels flat and just do a little lower and raise of the pelvis. This is 3, really find that middle back, don't lock into the elbows. This is gonna be 2, keep your booty raised, try to keep the front side of the hips completely open. This is 1, don't go anywhere, heels go flat, melt from behind the heart as we slowly lower down and lengthen all the way to the floor. All right, set that band aside for 1 quick second. Let's get our Wunda twist handled on the other side. So we're gonna take our hands wide onto the mat at the top of the mat again. We have our feet 4 inches apart parallel. We're gonna cross the right foot in front of the left and we start in a twisted plank orientation. We are going to do this side in reverse. So we're going to start with the baby ones. We're gonna go inhaling up and back. It's like a hook is on the right hip. Try to find more weight in your left hand as well. Don't dump everything into the right hand, right? Lifting up and back. It's very small. Let's do 2 more like that. Hold the next one, twisted plank. Now we're not gonna ride the shoulders, but we're going to draw the knees into a deep bend and send it back to that twisted plank. Draw the knees back, sitting bones broaden. Waistline is long. The short side, or the right side of the waistline rather, is gonna wanna shorten. So try to keep all sides of the waist long. This is gonna be your last one with the knee bend. Hold the twisted plank. Exhale to prepare. Inhale as we lengthen and swivel up and back. It's a beautiful opening of the spine as we get that deep abdominal activation. Think about that seat belt lifting you up and back. The pelvis is your keystone of movement, not the shoulder joints. They are helping and assisting with the weight shift, but the deep effort is through the abdominals as we unwind and rotate back to start. This is our last one. We're gonna return to that twisted plank and with control, set the hips down. All right, grab that band or your scarf if you have it. We're gonna do that single leg reach with the resistance. This time it goes under the left foot. So let's take the band under the arch of the foot. We are going to lean back, but with a flat back. So we're gonna find lots of lift. We're not just gonna hang out, right? We're gonna find lots of lift off of the elbows. Go ahead and reach the right leg long, straight away. Broaden the collarbones. On your next inhale, left leg goes long, right knee bends. Exhale, bring it in. Use the resistance of the band to help you access the back side of that left leg as we work. Inhale, left leg goes long. Exhale, left leg really sinks deeply into the hip socket. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Yesterday we were talking about sending our foot through a brick wall. Maybe we can find that again. So let's hold for one quick second. See if you can find an imaginary brick wall under the sole of your left foot. Now we're gonna go through that brick wall as we extend. That helped me to find a lot more effort on the back side of that left leg if I'm thinking about finding the brick wall, imprinting through it, rather than just kind of going through the motions. Last 2, we're gonna go into that chest expansion with the left leg forward next. This is our last one. With control, come all the way up. All right, so you're going to come onto your knees and we're gonna be in a single leg kneeling position. We're going to have the red band under the arch of our left foot and we're going to have our hands reaching so that they are turned inside this time. Last time we had them turned this way. This time we're gonna turn inside. So we're going to have our arms long as we sweep back. Again, you can do this with empty hands or maybe with soup cans or dumbbells in your hand. Think about the left thigh bone stretching, and that's gonna help you level out your belt line. Otherwise, that left hip is gonna wanna climb up like this. So keep it level as we work. Arms come long, initiating from in between the shoulder blades. Last 2, then we've got that little carousel horse challenge. I'm dreading it. I don't know if you are, but I am. Let's do our last one here. Hold, flip the right toes under, hover the knee off the floor. Here we go, 4 times. Let's do it together. 4. This is 3. Arms are long. 2. 1. With control, rise all the way up and keep that band. Let's go into that front step press like we would do on our machine. So we are going to have that red band still squarely under the arch of the left foot. We're gonna stand on the right leg and the left leg comes into a bent knee position. So choke up as much as you need to find resistance on that band. Biceps, middle back, shoulders working. We're gonna find breath in the backside of our standing knee so we can find the inner thigh coming up along the spine, out the crown of the head. As we inhale, and the left leg reaches long. Exhale as we bring it in. Inhale, reaches long. Exhale, bring it in. Thinking about that belt line still staying level. Really imagine that pedal of the Wunda chair underneath your foot. If you're familiar with what that sensation is in the studio setting, you can try to find that activation from under your glam line, under your left booty, as you send the pedal down, and then allow that spring or that band to give you feedback on the way up. Hold the left knee bent. We're gonna bend the standing leg a lot, a deep plie, hold the torso upright, and then we're going to send the leg down and bring it back up. It's a smaller range of movement now, keeping the navel drawn up and in the whole time. A little lower, a little raise. Keep the entire sole of the right foot really active, gluing your eyes to something ahead of you to assist your balance. Let's do 2 more here, then we've got that balance challenge. If that sounds good to you today, not required. We're gonna hold the left leg quiet. We're gonna peel the right heel up for 5, for 4, 3, 2, with control, heel comes down. All right, let's go into some squats. I really like the red band under the balls of my feet, but you definitely don't need it. I'm gonna talk you through the activation that we are looking for. So I have all of my toes actually on the band. If you can see that, just my big toe and my second toe are kind of creeping off the front edge, but all of the toes are on the band because today, as we're 4 inches apart parallel, we're gonna use the band not only to activate the arms, shoulders, and middle back, but I want you to hold the first one down. So whether you have the band or not, we're holding down. The idea is we wanna feel the fibers of the band, or imagine the fibers of the band spreading our toes out and really balancing the weight across all 10 toes and the balls of our feet. Once you've found that activation, trust your heels with a little bit of your weight. So we don't want to give all the work to the forefoot or to the heels. We want everything working really equally, and you can see probably that I'm kind of quivering and shaking. That's because I'm activating my deep stabilizing muscles, right? So we don't want to phone it in. We don't want to just hit a squat because we all know how to do a squat. Let's see if we can find the best effort, the best results head to toe. I'm now going to ask you to find the point on the floor that is underneath your big toe, second toe. Who's having fun holding this squat? I'm not. Okay. Find the big toe, second toe connected to the floor. In your mind's eye, draw a diagonal line from under your big toe, second toe to the outer heel on the underside of the foot. And the idea is you feel the arches lift a little bit off the floor and you feel the inner thighs activate, which then in turn fires up your core. All right, here we go. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, we're gonna rise all the way to standing. Inner thighs come up alongside the spine, out the crown of the head. Exhale, find what worked best for you out of that little setup we did while we were holding that squat. Find which one of those ideas about the toes, the feet, the heels, the diagonal line, whichever one really resonated with you today, find that connection in your body for every squat. I'm gonna go a little further up the chain. I'm gonna ask you on this next one to pause at the top real quick, and we're gonna make sure that we're creasing at the hips first. Crease at the hips first, and then the knees bend. That's how we're gonna take it out of the knee joint and get it deep into the glutes, into our deep abdominals and the core inner thighs, not just throwing the work away and bouncing through the knee joints. So make sure you're creasing at the front side of the hips, sending your pelvis back before the knees even start to bend. That's how we're also going to work our glutes on length, and that's gonna help to lift and tone the booty, as well as improve functionality through the hips. You're welcome. Hold the next one down, guys. Hold the next one down. Let's shift into a little bit of a diagonal with our arms and that bicep curl. Again, you don't need the band. We're doing it all together either way. And what we're gonna do is we're going to imagine we're sitting down in a chair as we open the arms a bit, and then we're gonna lift up a tiny. And then we're gonna lengthen back, find a nice long spine, and then come up. Lengthen back. It's really about reach and length. It's not about lowering your height. Lengthen and lift. We're gonna do 2 more like that. This is gonna be our last one. Holding here, now just the arms for 5. Collarbones are wide, initiating from between the shoulder blades for 4. You could have soup cans in your hands if you don't have a band. This is 3. This is 2. And this is our last one. Go ahead and come all the way up. All right, let's go ahead and set that band to the side for a moment again. And what we're going to do is go into a downhill ski. I was gonna have us on our back, but I'm gonna have us do it on our hands instead. I changed my mind. So what we're gonna do is have our hands shoulder width distance at the top of the mat. You're gonna start with your feet parallel. Now from here, we're going to swivel the toes and the pelvis to the left. Exhale, keeping your hips at about the same height. We're gonna crease at the hips and reach back. Inhale for length through the spine, come back to center. Swivel the toes, hips, and knees to the right, and then we exhale, bring it back. Inhale through center, exhale other side. So again, we're working with a weight shift, but the shoulders are more of a conduit. I want the effort to be coming from the deep abdominals. Keep working, I'm gonna show you what I mean. Keep working with that same movement. I want you to think about maybe this red band or a seat belt drawing you back. That's what's sending you back, not a hinge at the shoulder joint. So keep your focus really deep through the abdominal effort the whole time, exhaling as we reach. Magnetizing the outer thighs is gonna help you find inner thighs and low belly. Exhale to crease, inhale to extend, exhale to crease, inhale to extend. Just a few more here, guys. Find breath between the shoulder blades. Think about your heart lifting between the shoulder blades. Everyone get your body even. Find your body even for 5. Find your plank for 4, 3, 2, and bring the knees down. All right, let's go into a teaser. You can use that red band if you would like to. You don't have to if you don't have one. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate it first without the red band. We're gonna have our knees bent, and I'm gonna ask you today, for everyone, set the red band down just to get set up. We're gonna take our hands behind our thighs because I'm after you finding your abs rather than just the front side of your hips for a teaser, okay? So we're gonna sit nice and tall. We're gonna lean with a flat back just like we did in that roll up. Now we're going to think about just the tailbone gliding under us. You should immediately feel a shallow curl and a lot of ab activation on the front side of the body as well. Go even deeper, see if you can find more depth of your abs connected to your spine. Now we're gonna think about the suspender muscle on the right, talking to our inner thigh, that's called your psoas, and we're gonna use our hand to help float the right leg up. So you shouldn't feel any grip on the front side of the hip because we're giving our body support as we get our setup right. Once that's organized, now use the left psoas, the left suspender, to float the left inner thigh up, and now we're in a bent knee teaser position. If that feels good to you, you can hold here today. That works for me. If you're looking for extra challenge, you can take the hands out. Maybe you need to bring your knees a little bit closer to your chest to help the femur bones sink into the pelvis, and that's gonna help you find the ab activation. If you do want more and you have a red band, you can rotate to the right on an inhale, exhale through center, rotate to the left on an inhale, exhale through center. Keep working if that's your option. If you've chosen your hands behind your thighs, you can still do a small rotation as we're holding hands behind the thighs. Do what works for your body today and find the best connection you can find. So it can be a small rotation with the band or without. We're gonna go into 4. Think about lifting off of the tailbone even though it's underneath you. We don't want to collapse into it. And this is going to be the last one to that side. And then we're going to bring the legs down. All right, we're going to go into a little bit of a plank exploration today. So come onto your hands and your feet just like you would in a normal plank. And we're going to start there. Hands come wide on the mat, feet step back 4 inches apart parallel. And we're just gonna hold our plank. We're gonna find breath in the elbows. We're gonna make sure that we didn't stick our tush up like this, and also that we're not hanging down, shortening the low back like that. So we wanna find our best diagonal line, reaching length from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Hold and breathe for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, 4, 3, we're just gonna do a different plank in 2, and bring your right knee to the floor, bring your left knee to the floor, and bring the tops of your feet down. Now what we're gonna do is a plank with a little baby push-up. So we're gonna exhale, elbows bend. You don't need to touch your nose to the mat. Inhale, bring it up. You should feel really deep abdominal activation, not just through the arms and the shoulders. Inhale as we extend. Exhale as we bend. Think about water dripping off of your elbows towards the floor. Inhale as we bring it up. Added challenge, you can float the right leg just off the floor. You'll feel the left waistline really fire up. Bring the right knee down. And now the left leg talks to the right waistline, and bring that down. Keep the pelvis quiet. You can keep both legs down. Last 2. Last 1. Hold. Now we're gonna walk our right forearm down, walk our left forearm down. And I want you to just notice that as we shorten the levers, meaning as we take the long limbs, the long arms and legs out, that you should feel even more core activation. So at a glance, you might think this is an easier version of an exercise, but in fact, I find more depth. I find the transverse abdominis, the deepest layer of our abdominals, more effectively here because I'm not having to brace and hold a big plank. Again, additional challenge. You can float the right leg up a little bit and set it back down. Left leg up a little bit and set it back down. Right leg last time. Set it down. Left leg, set it down, and walk yourself all the way back up. All right, we have one more sequence to go. We are almost there, guys. We are going to have our left forearm on the floor, or you can come all the way down onto your left biceps. We are going to go into a leg raise. So I'm stacking the hips one on top of the other. Legs are stacked. And again, we're gonna think about a hammock, but this time it's our toes reaching in the hammock like this. So both legs are lengthening up and reaching, and lower back down. Don't let them rest on the floor. Lengthen and reach. If this is uncomfortable under your left hip on the bottom, because you want to be balanced on that bone, on the outermost hip bone, then you can go ahead and double up your mat underneath you. The balance challenge is really sincere to make sure I'm finding the ab activation and the core connection. I like to think about my torso being between 2 plates of glass, and those 2 plates of glass are narrowing in on the body the whole time we're working. So really think about the torso being narrowed between 2 plates of glass as you lengthen and reach. Try not to let the bottom ribs drop down, so the left ribs should not be pressing into your mat. They might touch the mat, that's fine, but we don't want them to press in. That means your legs are raising too high if you feel that. We're going into 2. We're gonna do an upper body jump next. This is the last one. And bring it all the way down. We're gonna use that band if you have it, and we're gonna go into some rotations with our arms in a T to start with. So we're gonna have our knees 4 inches apart parallel. We're gonna lengthen all the way down. If that's not for your knees, you do not need to get your booty all the way to your hips. You can come up higher, okay? Arms come long, here we go. We're gonna inhale, rise up. I'm rotating as I stretch on that band, but the hips don't rotate. Exhale, back through center. Inhale, rotate the other direction. Exhale, down through center. Inhale, coming up. As I rotate, to make sure my hips stay honest, I like to think about the hip reaching forward. So as I rotate to the right hip is given a little attention forward. Exhaling down. Inhale, left hip forward. Exhaling down. If you don't have the band, it looks like this. We just open the arms and exhale down. Inhale, open the arms. We're still getting sculpting and toning if we're intentionally moving the body. So the arms are plugging into the middle back as they reach long, almost like you're pulling on maybe a really tight shirt or a wetsuit or some long dinner gloves, whatever you're feeling like this morning for your visual. Exhale to lower down, sitting bones broaden. Inhale, we're thinking about the breath lifting us. If you're feeling a load in the quads, I need you to get your core active. Ribs lift off the pelvis as we rise. On an inhale, thinking about creasing underneath the seat at the top. This is 2. This is 1. And bring it all the way down. All right, guys, let's get that leg lift on the other side and then we stretch. You made it. So we're gonna be on our right hip this time. I'm gonna demonstrate on my right forearm. You can also be all the way down like we were last time. Both legs go straight. We're stacked through the hips. And then we're gonna think about that hammock lengthening and reaching. So we're finding lots of length and reach, keeping the hips stacked, keeping the bottom ribs not dropping down because the legs float up. So we don't want to smash the ribs down into the floor. We wanna think about length and reach as we work. I like to think about my inner thighs reaching longer than the soles of my feet as my outer thighs magnetize. And we've still got those 2 plates of glass narrowing in on the torso while we work. Let's go for 4. Find lots of length, make these last 4 count. This is 3. This is 2. This is our last one. And bring the legs all the way down. All right, we're gonna lay onto our back and go into our little stretch sequence today. So lay down on your back. You can use your red band or your scarf. You don't need to. We're just gonna take it around the arch of the foot if we have it, and go ahead and stretch that leg towards the sky. If you don't have the band, you can just hold your leg behind your thigh, and that works fine too. So we're just finding a nice long line here. Think about the tailbone melting heavy. We don't wanna mash the back into the mat here either. You can go ahead and exhale, kind of draw that knee outbound to the side, stretching through the hip. Nice deep breath here. Sending an inhale to any areas of tightness, allowing that leg to sink deeply into the femur, or the femur head to sink deeply into the hip socket. Lengthen the leg all the way out. Go ahead and bring the red band under your right foot, a scarf, or you can just hold your leg with your hand, that works too. And then we're gonna open out to the side. Nice deep breath here, just allowing that femur to sink heavily into the hip. Send the leg long again. Go ahead and bend the knee. I'm gonna have us come into a butterfly stretch. So you can have your soles of feet together over the pelvis, holding onto the ankles like this, and just allow yourself to close the eyes. Inhale into the back side of your ribs as you lengthen through the crown of the head. If it's accessible to you in your low back, you can set your feet down to the floor. If that's not for you today, keep your feet where they were, above the pelvis. Just pay attention to your body and what feels good to you. Arms come out to the side. Take one more cleansing deep breath here, really inhaling deeply into the base of the lungs. Exhaling any negativity or tension you're holding on to. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll onto our side and use our hand to assist our back in rising up.